Hey folks, welcome to our tip tutorial. In this tip, I'd like to show you how to replace the icon in the website name, that's this icon right up here, with an actual graphic. So let's jump right into Dreamweaver and we'll get going. Let's open up the library, the shared, and the graphic logo page. What we're simply going to be doing is replacing the I class we have right here. You'll need to do this in code view. We're going to replace this with a simple image tag. And how do you do that? Well, you can just delete this I class right out of the page. That's where the icon is loaded in. Go find your image and drag it onto the page. So we'll just use the site images. I'll use my fave icon PNG as an example. I'll just drag and drop it right onto the page like so. Type in logo for my alt tag and OK. If it adds a width and a height, that's probably not a bad thing because it's going to tell you how big the logo is. Which goes to my next question. How big should your graphic logo be? Well, you might have to eye this one or use a bit of a measuring stick, but the rule of thumb is 80 to 100 pixels if you have sort of a bar up here. Um, You'll have to play around with it a little bit, perhaps resize your graphic logo until it fits exactly the way you want it to fit. That's ideally the best situation. You don't want to take a really big graphic, try and stuff it in there and make the CSS and the HTML resize it. You need to have a graphic that's sized to fit the entire area. And of course, you can get rid of your website name text right here or the tagline or whatever happens to be in that area and use a graphic all by itself. That's what most websites do, is you just have a single graphic for their logo and they don't have any text, or that they would make the tagline and any text itself be part of the graphic. But in this case, it's not practical for everybody. That's why we actually use a font awesome icon to start with. But if you want to replace that with your own graphic, it's a bit of a matter of using your eye to visualize. You would have to look at the graphic in a page and then compare it to your actual area that it's going into and resize it accordingly until you get it to fit. But here's an example of a graphic that's 32 by 32. We're just going to save and update, and I want to show you how to reposition that graphic a little bit to make it fit even better. So we'll just save our page, we'll go back and we'll just refresh, and not quite ready yet. Let me just see if it's still updating. There we go. Here's a case of we have a small logo, 32 by 32, and it doesn't quite line up with the text beside it. And what we can do is we can use what we call some helper classes. Now, helper classes are located in our helper.css. So let me just shut everything down here. We'll go to our site, we'll go to our styles, and we have a helper.css. Now you can open this up and peruse through at your leisure, but basically we have a list of classes that we've created that help with margin left, margin top, margin bottom, margin right, paddings in different increments and spacing, so that you can quickly add a class to a certain icon or heading or paragraph or whatever you have on your site. You can quickly add classes to them to help with paddings and margins. Right? In this example, what we would do is we would just simply go to the image tag here. Right after the G in IMG, I'm going to hit the space bar, type in CL for class and enter. And then I'm going to type in, I need to reposition it. I want to push it down and I want to push everything else a little bit further to the right. So I need a margin on the top and a margin on the right. So I would type in margin hyphen top. I'm going to go with 15 pixels. Like I said, you probably may need to sort of either look through here to see what's available, and it may take a minute or two of looking. But basically, margin hyphen right, margin hyphen left, margin hyphen top, margin hyphen bottom. Right? Then we do another hyphen, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 through 10. Then in increments of 5 after that up to 100, and then we sort of skip up to the 125, 150, 200. Right? But these little classes will save you no end of headache when trying to help align things in your web page. Right? So we're going to do a top of 15 and a margin right, once again of 15. We'll save and update. And just so I can show you that the styles are built into the template, so you can move things around without too much headache. I'll just refresh and see if that's updated yet. No. Put the video, there we go. I was just saying I'll put the video on pause and refreshed, and there it is. So like I said, from there you can see that it's moved 15 pixels down, and it's pushed the uh, everything on its right 15 pixels over. So you can now play around with things a little bit if you have something that doesn't quite fit the space. But judging by a 32 pixel image, I'd say, you can at least get something twice to three times as high in there. Like I said, really when it comes to graphic logos, it's a matter of eyeing what you have or using some sort of a measurement tool, or you can actually use Firebug, do an inspect with element, my favorite option right here, and try and find the parent element. So keep working your way up, logo, menu bar. Okay, that's selected the entire thing on the page. And if I look through the styles for the menu bar, I'm looking for a height or a minimum height. Now here it says min height 101. Cool. So I know if I hover over here, the height that I see is at least 101 pixels. So my graphic logo for this particular template would need to be less than 101 pixels, or it's going to be busting out the edges and causing all sorts of problems.